So I have one question left to ask you, and that is related to, I guess, Warframe and content creation or game development side is what, in your, I guess, experience has been the biggest bollock when it comes to making, game development side of things for Warframe, whether it's, I guess, the balance changes or
Content
balancing a new
creators.
Warframe or dealing with us idiots like us, all that kind of stuff. Like, what would you has been in your experience the biggest bollock when you're kind of doing your game dev stuff?
Well, I guess the biggest thing recently is the Simulacrum in Warframe. I absolutely hate that room, and here's why. It's because we put out an update, and you go look at all of our content creators and all of our champions, and they're all sitting in this gray room,
John,
shooting things that don't move, staring at the numbers, going, "Is that good? I don't know." That's what everyone does, and that's what people use to validate all of these crazy things. And it's like, okay, I get that it's an easy place to quickly jump between your arsenal and experiment with builds, and I get that. But I goddamn hate that, like, there's probably a large portion of our YouTube content out there that's this goddamn box room, silver gray room.
Yeah, it's not showing off the actual game then.
Brain dead AI, and you're just staring at the numbers. And it just drives me nuts because the game is so rich in artistic content, and the game plays so much different than that room when people start sending me that as this is look how easy the game is, look at what I can do when there's 15 bombards all piled together in one spot. It's like, that doesn't happen in the actual game ever.
Yeah.
Swazdula, you Wukong mains, how the hell are you? Alright, so let's just jump straight into it, alright? I was watching a video that Tactical Potato uploaded not too long ago where it was just a short clip of a podcast with him, Frozen Balls, and D.E. Scott. And D.E. Scott was asked what his biggest ball ache, aka biggest problem with the game from a content creator perspective is at the moment, right? And what he answered kind of triggered me, and we're going to address that in this video right fast because it's I don't know, I'm trying to not be as upset as I actually feel like I am, but I can't help it. I really can't. But for the record, before I say anything, allow me to say really quick, this is not me attacking Scott. This is not me expressing having a personal problem with him or anything like that. I know I can't stress this enough because there are a lot of 12-year-olds out there that love to just make beef out of thin air. There's nothing going on between me and Scott. In fact, I actually like Scott quite a bit as a developer and as a person because he strikes me as someone who is usually very realistic and not afraid to telling you how it is. And I really appreciate that. So that's good. But in this particular instance, which I will get to in just a second, I'm a little bit pissed and I'm going to have to call bullshit because that's just some nonsense. Right. So if you guys want to see the full thing, then I suggest you go hunt down Frozen Balls and look wherever he posted that 2-hour-long full podcast. Or if you haven't seen it already and you just want some more context as to what the hell I'm talking about here, then go over to Tactical Potato's YouTube channel where you will find a small clip, which is what I'm going to be talking about right now. I might leave a link in the description as well. I don't think it's very hard to find Tater. So go ahead and look at that. So D.E. Scott was asked what his greatest problem is with the game right now from a content creator perspective, right, in terms of content creation and whatnot. And D. Scott went along. Again, I'm just kind of paraphrasing here. If you want the accurate answer, then go watch it yourself. But essentially, D.E. Scott said he hates the Simulacrum, which is Warframe's simulator room, our testing room, right? He hates that it exists for two reasons. Number one, because a large portion of us content creators seem to be uploading videos only in the simulator room, and also a lot of content creators seem to be streaming the simulator room when an update hits, which personally, as a side note, I find fucking stupid, but okay. That's fine. Y'all do you. I don't mind. Do whatever you want to do. I kind of see where Scott is coming from with that, right? Because it's got to look kind of bad as a developer of a game when you look at your own partners or other content creators or whatever, and a large portion of the videos you find all play out in this little gray, ugly simulator room. I get that. That does make sense. What I don't agree with, though, is the rest of the shit that Scott said in that podcast. So essentially, aside from the two things that I just mentioned, the landscape of YouTube looking like that is the core game, is that us content creators make it look like that is the core game. So for people, let me run this by you again, right? For people who are not familiar with Warframe, so potential new players, I assume, right? We content creators make it look and seem as if that gray room was the core game. I'm sorry, but that is some stupid nonsense, right? Anybody with a functioning brain that sees any video playing in the Simulacrum should automatically know for a fact that that cannot be the entire core game, let alone all the other hundreds and thousands of videos that we have that show otherwise, right? Again, when there's a new update where there's new stuff to look at, new game modes or new Warframes or new quests and new stuff like, let's say, Railjack, and streamers jump into the simulator and stream the simulator, I don't understand that either. That's silly to me. Which is why I use the simulator on my off time and do not stream the simulator unless I want to show one particular thing. I think in almost 1.5 years of streaming, I've done that maybe twice for maybe 15 minutes a pop or so. That's about it. But again, that's just me, and what others do. You do whatever you want to. I don't care, nor should I, right? It's none of my business. You do whatever the hell you want to do. I kind of get it though. But what strikes me as really funny in this situation, and what makes me really upset about what Scott said, is that he really just underlines the disconnect between the player base and Digital Extremes. Digital Extremes doesn't know what the fuck we want anymore, and we don't seem to be able to make that clear or something, right? I don't know what the problem is exactly, but you hate the simulator room because everybody uses it. Number one, you created it. You made the fucking simulator room to be used as a testing room. And that is exactly what people are using it for. No one is using that room as the core game. No one thinks that that room is the core game. Nobody. I don't know where you get these ideas from. Sure, maybe out of 27 or whatever how many registered losers we have playing this game right now. Well, fake players, because we know that nobody's playing Warframe at the moment, right? But out of all of these registered losers, there might be 10 Fortnite players that might think that, but who cares about them, honestly, right? You made this game. You guys, you're the ones who develop it. You created this game. You're the ones who are making this. You guys are suggesting things and being warned about them by content creators, partners, players in the forums, everywhere. Everywhere. There are dozens of channels, and I'm pretty sure if you look at the broad picture of YouTube content that is out there, pretty much every single Warframe YouTuber has bitched about something. And by bitching, I don't mean complaining unnecessarily, but bringing up valid points, criticizing valid issues with the game or decisions that you're making, right? You're being warned, this and this and this and this is probably not a great idea. And y'all like, sure, we'll take it into consideration. You do it anyway, and then a year or 2 or 3 later, you're complaining about the very thing you were warned about. That is, do you see that that is silly? But that's okay. I'm going to fix that because I've got a new video series coming out that's going to address that. Okay, because I'm kind of tired of this whole thing seeming like the content creators are just representing themselves and just pulling these issues out of thin air. I'm gonna let you guys have it. Y'all gonna see what's going on in the community and what people think, okay? We'll get to that later in a different video. Yeah, I got something coming. Nothing malicious. Nothing malicious. I have no nefarious intent here. I'm just saying, I'm thoroughly done, okay? So you hate the fucking thing because it's being used and because it makes other people feel, non-Warframe players assume that is the core gameplay. That is just dumb. And yes, brain dead AI. You would prefer that us players or us content creators show off the rest of the game more. You know, the actual gameplay and how beautiful it is. Yes, all that has already been done. We've done that. There is nothing to show off. Why don't you understand that? Here's a crazy thought. How about you guys make some levels that are actually difficult to play? You know, something like the higher planets you go, the higher the enemy level is. And I spoke about enemy level versus AI on the note of brain dead AI in the simulator. All of the AI in Warframe is brain dead, not just in the simulator. The only reason why people use that simulator as intensely as they do is because it is a controlled area where you can create a very specific situation, which you cannot do in the actual game, mind you. There is level 100. If you're Mastery 28, you can spawn instantly level 170 heavy gunners or bombards or whatever it is you need, right? Do you have any idea how long you actually have to play a survival mission to reach level 170 enemies? And just out of spite, as a background footage, I'm actually going to download, if I can make it in time, download my last stream where I was actually doing a survival for 3 hours, over 3 hours, fighting against just under level 4,000 enemies and still melting them, by the way. I'm just saying. What else do you want us to show off? You say it's so creative and pretty and everything. Yes, the game is really pretty. It is. I've said this a lot of times. I've fangirled over this a lot of times. The game is beautiful. That is true. But that's not enough to make people play it. If you want people to play the content just because it looks pretty, then slap on bikinis on all the fucking Warframes and make them naked or something. Put a hidden Easter egg in there that if you accomplish a 10-hour survival solo with no fucking mods or something like that, that you can play Warframes in nude. The Warframes themselves will be nude. Watch the player base jump up. You guys did this. You guys are the ones that groomed the player base that you have now. Content creators, you know why content creators upload the build videos and all the other videos that they do? Because that's what people are hungry for. Power creep. That's it. If I upload a video right now, right? The identical video, the same damn video, same script, same footage, everything's the same. The only thing changed between the two videos would be the title and the thumbnail. The one thumbnail would read, a very fun build to play for long survivals. Something like that. Watch that video get a maximum of 10,000 viewers, which is laughable considering that this channel has 110,000 subscribers, right? Who are all notified of that video. Now, if I re-upload the exact same video and change the title into Crazy Red Crit, watch that bitch get 100,000 views. Because people only care about pretty numbers. We remember back in the day when we had T4 survival missions and we actually had to group together and actually struggle as a group, as a squad, and really like fight to get to that 60-minute mark. Oh shit, the drop didn't happen. All right, let's go another 20 minutes. Again, the drop didn't happen. Let's struggle another 20 minutes, and so on and so forth. You remember that? Those days were kind of nice. Then you guys, not the content creators videos, and sure shit not our streams, you guys decided to throw Fisher missions in there that basically nullified the incentive to want to go further. There is no reason in the game to do anything for a prolonged period of time. And then you have things like Grendel Farm in there, where you have to do 100% map completion, and then you have to do this and this and this and this and that. And all this other shit. And then when you do finally acquire this high level of power, you have all the mods that you think you need. You feel like your Warframes are all strong enough. You don't have everything, but you as a player feel you are now strong enough. You have completed your quest, right? You get to a point where there is nothing to do in Warframe. And we've been telling you guys this for ages now. Not just recently, not just the past several weeks or months, but years. We've been telling you this. We've been noticing that there's a trend for years. We've been warning you about it, and here you are complaining about things. You're complaining about the wrong stuff. Who gives a shit about the simulator? You suggested, no wait, let me take that back. You didn't suggest it. My bad. You said that there were internal discussions whether or not to put caps on how often or how much or some way or another the simulacrum can be used, and have had discussions whether or not you should just straight up delete the simulacrum so that it isn't in the game anymore. Yes, sure, go ahead. You know what? While you're at it, go ahead and delete survival missions on top of that so that nobody can go into endless. Fuck it. Delete all the endless missions so that nobody can reach higher levels to show you that even those levels are insignificant and don't matter. Sure, delete everything, why don't you? Delete the simulator room. That's not going to fix your problem. That's just going to create new ones. What you need to do is give us something worthwhile playing. How about not so crazy power creep? How about sufficient enemy AI that focuses on counteracting cheesing the game? Imagine, what do players do to cheese the game? Okay, back in the day, not too long ago, a Zenostar camping in a corner and a Saren. Okay, what kind of an enemy action could be taken to counteract that camping? No, I don't know. How about after a while of camping too long in the same spot, the enemy retreats and gasses the room that you're in, forcing you to move or you will die? Just for example, that's not a big deal, is it? How about every X amount of time, just like the moon level does with the Saintients, some kind of a boss will spawn into the mission with the current enemy level. Like Sargus Ruck would make a grand entrance, busting through the walls and screaming out at the top of his lungs or something like that, and you have to deal with him. You could do a lot of stuff. Okay, it's not like your hands are tied here. Okay, you cannot develop things, create problems, ignore all of the warnings, all of the huge amounts of warnings you've been getting and criticism on stuff that you've been doing. You can't ignore that and continue developing and creating all of these problems and then complain and take it away from the player later. That is not fair, that is not right, and it is short-sighted, and it's a little bit silly, to be totally honest, okay? You said, oh, well, yeah, Tactical Potato kind of suggested, well, you know, maybe if you guys would up the enemy level or something like that, or whatever. Because right now, currently, the highest enemy level in the game in the normal star chart is what? 50? 45? 50? Something like that? With Sedna? Or whatever? Or Mott? That's nothing. That's, like I said, that enemy level it's garbage, okay? That's the highest enemy level in the game. Like I said, if I do pull it off to actually download this in time and fast enough and everything, and the quality is okay, I will have background footage of my survival on stream where I was fighting against just under level 4,000 enemies. Level 4,000 enemies. Still killing them, still melting them. So why the fuck do you think we don't play that? Do you think that everybody has time to play 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of survival mission just so that they can get to higher enemy levels and not use the simulator? No. How about this? Put level 5,000 enemies in the simulator as an option. How about every planet has a significant jump? Or whatever actually happened to your idea with having a different galaxy? Being in a different solar system. Didn't you guys talk about that 2 years ago or so? I think you did. What happened to the Kingpin system? That was supposed to be some sort of an end-game viable thing or whatever. What happened to all of this stuff? What happened to the fucking, what was it? Level creator? Something like that? Where you could decide what level your missions would have or some shit like that? What happened to all of that? Why not introduce new planets if you want to go that far? Or no, you know what? That's too much work. Why not just rescale the entire star chart? You've got your levels like Mercury and Venus and Earth and all of that, and they will just, I don't know, scale up to a maximum of level 40, for example, in normal game mode. And then at the higher end planets and areas like the Derelict, or let's say the Sedna, or the Void, or whatever, that those can scale up like starting enemy level of, I don't know, 200, 300, 400, 500. Again, if you think that enemy level is the key here, you're wrong. I already did a video on that, so I don't want to get into it. It's the AI. The enemies don't really put up much of a fight. It doesn't matter if they're level 5 or if they're level 5,000. We have the power to delete them one way or the other. Okay? So you guys are the ones creating this game. You guys are the ones creating these problems. I would understand it if you would come up with some idea, some upgrade or some update or whatever, and nobody would say anything. Nobody would warn you. Everybody would be totally on board, and then you ship it and we all kind of find out like, oh, this is actually shitty. Oh, sorry. Then I'd understand, because you'd be oblivious to it. We all would have been. But for years now, you guys have been making some very weird decisions, and you've been being warned about it a lot by not just myself, but a buttload of other content creators as well, and you continue to do it anyway. And on top of that, decide to complain about it. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You're just straight up wrong. That is silly. And it bothers me because it just clearly shows the disconnect between you guys and us players. Right? It's annoying. And I'm tired of this. I know that sometimes I might come across, very rarely, I'm pretty sure, but sometimes I might come across as I hate this game or something. I really don't. I really don't. Why else on earth would I be investing so much time into it? Over 5,000 hours of gameplay now. Why on earth would I bother making videos about it? I'm bored in the game, yes, because I don't have anything to do, yes, because there's no scaling reward. There's no reason for me to use the power that I have acquired meticulously over months and years of playing the game. Same goes for a lot of other players. It's not just me. But like I said, I will have a video series that I'm going to start uploading as soon as I can, as soon as I have the time to get it started, and then you will see what the community actually thinks about your game. Because I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of us speaking different languages, okay? Now, I get it. Again, I'm not attacking you personally or anything like that. Just your simulator opinion that, oh, it's a bad thing because people think that it's going to be the core gameplay or some shit. That is just stupid. Who would think that? Nobody in their right mind would think that. There's no amount of alcohol and drugs one could take and consume to think that the simulator is the core gameplay. That is ridiculous, right? Put something in the game. Give us something to do. Give us a challenge. God, please, give us scaling rewards. There's no reason. On that note, the 4-hour survival that I did, for no reason at all, just for shits and giggles, we did the 4-hour survival, and the only reason why we left is because one of our squad mates during the stream actually had to go to bed because we didn't expect that we would stay in there for that long. We didn't get shit for that. We didn't get jack shit for that. Where's the reward? There was no reward. There's so many things that you guys could be focusing on and worrying about and fixing about the game that could benefit everyone. Not just the players, but also you guys as developers. Like, for example, hating the fact that looking across hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos, many of them feature the simulator. I do too. I do too, because I want to show something very specific in the game, which would otherwise take me hours to find in the game. Duh, of course I'm going to use the simulator. At the very least, I like to include some level of gameplay, so just so you can see how it actually performs in there. Or my 1-hour survivals that I do when I have the How to Not Be Shit Warframe videos up, just so that you can see, okay, this is how I play it, and here you can see this build actually works. At least I do something like that. But again, that's just me. And I'm not saying that the other content creators that don't do that are wrong or bad content creators. No, you guys are right to use the fucking simulator. You're right. It is nothing more than a testing area or a very convenient way to demonstrate certain things in the game. Mostly damage. That is what it was created for, and that is what it is being used for. So, Scott, you cannot sit back and be mad at us for using the simulator for what it was intended. And like I said, if you want us to demonstrate more of the game, other things in the game, how about having the highest level that you can acquire in the game, not including Sanctuary Onslaught, which is 100 or 80 or whatever it is, or Kuva Flood missions or whatever. Those all, they start at 100. That's a good start, but it still ain't shit. How about you guys give us some truly difficult things? How about alerts where the enemies are level 1000 and above? How about that? Or whatever. There's so many other things. I'm sure, just like Tater mentioned, and I think I can also speak for every content creator out there right now, we would love, absolutely love, to rather play the actual game with higher levels than go to the simulator just to demonstrate what can be done against the highest level. Okay? Of course we would prefer that. The thing is, that just doesn't exist. What do you think I'm going to do? You think I'm going to take my Saren or my Mag or my Chroma or any one of my fucking Warframes, my Banshee, my Nyx, I'm going to go and demonstrate my ability or my build or something against level 45 enemies? Really? I'm going to take builds and Warframes and weapons and shit that I know for a fact, because I've done it, can melt level 4,000 enemies. I'm going to take those into a level 45 mission to demonstrate? What? Why? I ask you, why on earth would I waste my time? DE, please, for the love of God, less tedious grind, more challenge, and more reward for said challenge. Scaling rewards, decent AI, that is all we ask. We want to play your game. Don't you see? We want to play and love your game. But the things that you're doing often, not all the time, but often, are just off-putting. Nobody's playing fucking Railjack because Railjack is still bugged up the wazoo. Nobody's playing fucking Liches because it's repetitive as hell. The only reason why anybody plays Liches is because they want those weapons. Whoop-de-doo. So do I. I'm not going to go out of my way though, because playing Liches actively makes me angry. That's how annoying it is. And I know I'm not alone with that. If it was just me, I would shut up about it because, you know, who cares? This is just one player complaining about it. But it's a large portion of your players. And if you look at the complaints that you're getting for Warframe, right? If you look at the complaints that you're getting and the worries and the concerns, I'm not talking about the dumb, bubble-headed douchebags that are like, oh, DE, you guys suck ass. Not those dumb twats. I'm talking about the people who are actually like, listen, DE, this and this and this and this is pretty silly. Change it. Here's some suggestions. Those people, you know, the ones with constructive criticism, even if they swear while they do it, cough me, cough, right? Those kind of people. If you guys would decide to just listen to those for a little bit, just a little bit, I think it would benefit everybody. I think we would really love to play the game for what it is intended to. And if you look at all of these complaints, all of these reasonable complaints, that is, like I just said, if you look at them, in the grand scheme of things, everybody seems to be complaining about the same damn thing, just with different words or focused on different aspects of the game. We hate the grind, not because it's grindy, but because it is repetitive, and because it is tedious, and because the reward is garbage. That's why everybody hates the grind, okay? We don't like the enemy challenge because they're boneheads, okay? They're fucking idiots. We don't like that there is no challenge no matter how far into the game you go. I saw a stream with somebody who was fighting against level 10,000 enemies, or 9,999 where they used to be capped. I don't know if 10,000 is the new cap, but whoop-de-doo, whatever. And they're still killing everything. There is no challenge in the game. There isn't any. There has never been, really. It's just when you start the game, you have a lot of stuff to do. It takes you a while before you get to the point where you think you're situated fairly good within the game in terms of like power and what your ability is and whatever. That just takes a while. That takes some effort and some time, sure. But once you've reached that, there's nothing to do. Arbitration ain't it. Arbitration ain't shit. Sanctuary Onslaught ain't shit. They're cute alternative game modes, but they ain't shit ultimately. They're not more challenging than anything else in the game. You know what I mean? And then you got the reward and all that stuff. It's just, there's such a disconnect between what you guys think we want and what we actually want and whatever. We're not trying to attack you or hurt you or, I don't know, make you guys bow to our will or something. But we are trying to scream at the top of our lungs and tell you guys, listen, this is maybe not the direction that you want to take for this kind of a player base. You cannot create something, create the problems, and sell the solutions, as someone once said, right? Oh, like Grendel Farm is ridiculous. Oh, but you can buy them though, or whatever the fucking example was. It doesn't matter. You can't keep creating these problems and then complaining about them. Especially not when you're being warned about them. That's silly. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, I'm thoroughly done shitting on this topic. I'm I'm tired. I'm truly tired, right? I try so hard to not get annoyed by in-game things of what's going on with Warframe. I really try my best to have fun with the game. No, sad thing is, though, at this point, The only thing that really, truly makes me happy, actually is fun for me in Warframe, is doing long survival missions with clanmates or viewers or subscribers or whoever just happens to want to. That is the only thing that brings me any kind of joy, because the rest isn't mention-worthy. Honestly, not to me at least. I know other people will beg to differ, and you have your eidolons and whatnot, and people will thrive there. That's fine and dandy. But in the grand scheme of things, there are several groups of people that only find joy in one small aspect of your game. And there are content creators like myself, and let's say the Reaper Hunter, for example, and a number of others that I don't want to even bother mentioning because we all know who they are, who have been suggesting grand scheme fixes, additions, expansions, improvements that would benefit everyone, not just the player base, not just the veteran player base, not just the noob player base, but the entire player base and the developers as well. It would benefit all of us. Not necessarily word for word exactly what we suggest, but the ideas are there. And I think, DE, and I would love to say this is the last time I'm going to say this, but it probably won't be. I think that it is well past fucking time to start paying attention to that, rather than hit us with a mainline update with a bunch of quality of life fixes and whatnot as a band-aid, because since then, again, nothing has happened. But again, I'm not going to really bash you about that, because we're still within the phase of perfecting that mainline. We've got the gas changes still coming. We've got the operation still coming and all that stuff. I'm not going to complain too much until a couple weeks after that and then see what it is. But like I said, I'm really worried that you guys did the last mainline update with the shield gating and bringing out a bunch of popular demand fixes to the game after being, well, quite frankly, shat on very thoroughly by a large number of people, right? It looks as if it was a publicity stunt, maybe. It looks as if this was a band-aid fix to kind of appease us so that we stop being as angry as you guys, as angry at you guys. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying that's what it kind of looks like. It sure shit will look like that if you just go back to your old habits. It won't look like that if you continue making these improvements to the game and whatnot, which I'm going to wait for before I form an opinion. But again, you cannot create problems and then complain about them later, especially because you're being warned about them before you do them, right? That's just how it is. Now, I get it. You have to take things step by step, and that's A-okay, but I think that maybe you guys could remedy a lot of anger and hatred and annoyance within the player base if you would be more transparent. Perhaps tell us what your vision is for the future. Your real vision, not the bullshit stuff that you would tell us otherwise just to make us happy. But like, seriously, I would feel very, very happy if you guys would tell me, listen, and I'm just using myself as an example player. I'm not representing the entire player base here. I'm just saying as an example. I would very much appreciate if you say, well, listen, Jizo, since half of our company, actually more than our company, is owned by someone in China, we're deciding that we want to go in the direction of mobile game. That's just the direction we're going to go. To be quite honest. Then I'll be like, okay, well, I thank you for your honesty, but then I don't want to play Warframe. I will go to Guild Wars and play that rather, right? For example, rather than hold on to this string, this thread that is ripping from week to week more and more, right? And seeing you guys getting angry, you sending us emails to the content creators, the freaking partners, reminding us to show off the actual game in our streams and our videos rather than just focusing on the simulator. Well, for one, if you have to tell people to do that, I think that already is kind of like case in point situation, don't you think? And if you're a content creator who does that, then you need to reevaluate what you're doing. Like, seriously. You're going to do just the simulator and then base your opinion on just the simulator? That is kind of dumb, let's be honest. If you don't know that the simulator behaves differently than the rest of the fucking game does, then you shouldn't probably be playing Warframe. Well, no, that's not fair. You should play it, but you maybe shouldn't be making videos about it because you reach a lot of people. A lot of people listen to what you have to say. And when you have an opinion that is based on the simulator, which is in fact different from the rest of the game, then I don't know, something's kind of wrong. As for myself, I know that. I know that the simulator is not equivalent in terms of behavior, and also not even the damage really behaves like it does in the game. I'm aware of that. I know. And I let people know that as well. But I also ask DE, what is the point of doing anything else when my builds will melt level 4,000 enemies and above? Why bother with anything below that? There's no point. So please, for the love of God, maybe wake up and smell some coffee, have some coffee too so your focus increases, and maybe start improving parts of the game that are important, not the fucking simulator and what it makes people think. 10 Fortnite players, what they might think. Oh, this is the core gameplay, just a room where you can simulate damage? Oh, this is a shitty game. Fuck them. Who cares about those 10 people? God. Right. On a finishing note, I know that this probably sounded a little bit more salty than I intended it to. That's just because I'm very passionate about this stuff. And, well, I care. Okay? I really just care. I don't mean to bash anybody, especially not you, D.E. Scott, in case you happen to watch this personally, which I kind of hope you do, or not. It doesn't matter. It would be better if you watch it yourself because, you know, people are going to be like, ooh, Jizo throwing shade. No, okay? Watch the damn thing and listen, okay? I'm very much okay with you as a person, and I very much appreciate your developer standpoint and everything, and I do get where you're coming from with one aspect of your opinion, but thinking that people are going to pick up on the simulator being the core game, that is silly. That's nonsense. So, yes, I'm very, very passionate about you guys and us guys being on the same page, okay? The simulator is not a problem. And even if it was, it is not the problem. The problem is the tedious, repetitive grind for no reward at all versus brain-dead, stupid enemies. We need more than that. No cinematic quest in the world is going to save you from that. No amount of quality of life changes is going to save you from that. No amount of pretty 10-gen skins are going to save you from that, when the core gameplay remains to be tedious, repetitive, and with subpar reward systems. That's just how it is. That is the reality of things. And that is what we are bitching about. Now, I know, and I want to say I'm sorry for all the players who would just yell at you and insult you guys and whatnot because they're pretty dumb and they're not helping. But in the grand scheme of things, I think we all want the same thing. We want Warframe to be the best that it can be. And the way it is going, well, lately, not so great. What you've been announcing for this year, however, looking kind of promising, but we'll have to see. Time will tell. So, yeah, please don't take this to heart, but take it seriously and maybe, I don't know, whatever. I don't even know what I want anymore because I've said this stuff 1,000 times before. Dozens of my peers have said the same shit 12 times before me and everything, so I don't know. Do what you want with this information. If anybody from DE would like to come and contact me, maybe Scott personally, if you want to contact me, I am on the partner Discord. You can find me there very easily. Maybe you want to put me in my place or something. By all means, please do. Even privately, doesn't have to be public or anything. That's fine. I don't care. I would love to hear more about your opinion or just exchange with you guys directly. More directly, rather. That would be cool. That would be cool. So, yeah. Also, I promise I won't be as salty as I am in this video. Right. Okay, so I've rambled enough. I got this off of my chest. You guys do with the information whatever you want. For everybody who watched this video who is just, well, not just, but who is player and not developer or anything like that, feel free to drop your opinions in the comments section for DE or other people who might be interested in it, to read up on some opinions and just give basically a canvas, a bit of a guide on what we're actually thinking. Make your voices, your opinions heard in the comment section. Be sure to keep it brief because we know damn well DE it ain't got that kind of time to be reading paragraphs over paragraphs of comments from thousands of people, right? They ain't got that kind of time, especially not under a Warframe video. So keep it brief and keep it constructive. And please, if you're thinking DE fucking sucks, then just keep it to yourselves. You're not helping anybody. Oh, shit. Alright, guys. As usual, stay healthy and safe and peace the fuck out.